Boom, broadcasting live from out here in these. What really happened to Bobby OJay streets? I want to say hello to all of my wonderful subscribers and viewers. Hopefully, you are doing very well this fine Saturday. I wasn't going to do this video tonight because I'm so tired, but I decided to just go against what I feel and do the video anyway to get a lot of things off of my chest because, a lot of this has been weighing on my mind since I made the first video, whereas I did talk about the passing of legendary radio personality Bobby OJay. A lot has transpired, and many of us are suspecting foul play. And Bobby's son, Joshua, has been very adamant about his quest to know what happened to his dad, Bobby OJay. And I commend Joshua, who is the youngest of his siblings, for having the courage to do what a lot of people won't do. And it's made me really think about us as humans in the African American community in particular. A lot of people, and I want to generalize this statement, a lot of people, particularly in the black community, don't have a lot of courage to fight for what's right, and they beat down and condemn and try to demonize the fear of us that do. And a lot of people, especially in the African American community, defend wrongdoers because this is the energy that they themselves have, and all of them pretty much play for the same team, which is Satan's team. But because God is a good God and has all power in his hands and is an all-seeing God, there is no rest for the wicked. And God will do justice on behalf of those who have been done wrong, even when a lot of people who say that they believe in God and they trust God and God is an awesome God won't do the godly thing that relates to doing what's right. And my heart has been so heavy these past few days. I'm just thinking about a lot of this, and I have been keeping up with a lot of the updates. And I salute Joshua, Bobby OJ's son, for really fighting a good fight. And despite a lot of the opposition that I'm imagining has come against him from some so-called powerful forces of darkness, despite that, he has tried his best with limited resources and limited funds to fight a good fight. And I understand that's really tough. And then it's compounded with having to grieve someone you love at the same time. And people who you would think would support you do not. And the first sign that I saw that Joshua may not have a lot of support from his own tribe, which is his immediate family members, his siblings, is when I saw on social media none of the siblings except his one sister, Shandy. I'm like, where's the rest of the brothers and sisters who are supposed to be supporting him? And when I did not see that, I knew that it wouldn't be long before somebody talked him down from fighting for justice for his dad. I too suspect foul play. I don't believe that Bobby OJ just killed over with a heart attack at his age. He was very young, even at 68 years old. And he took very good care of himself. And I really don't believe he just had a random massive heart attack. But that's the narrative that's being pushed. But I want to say to Joshua, never get so caught up in the fight that you lose sight of the objective. And I don't know if Joshua is going to just take out the gloves and walk away from this permanently, or maybe something will happen later on that will click the spark to make him feel like picking up and starting all over again. Maybe something will happen, and Joshua, he will feel like, I have to do this. I must do this. And Joshua, yesterday, it really caught me by surprise after he had made several video posts, giving updates about how he really had a quest to find out, what had happened to his dad. And then out of the blue, completely out of left field, I see this post yesterday, whereas he's saying this is not a feel sorry for me post. I feel pretty stupid thinking people would actually give a damn. But instead, all I have done was entertain the public and probably piss my mom and dad off in the process. I guess I just didn't know what to do. So I'm saying goodbye. I'm just going to try and forget all this ever happened and just try to live my life. I'll just let my other siblings do what they feel is necessary to get justice. And to that I say, in response to this post by Joshua, you can go ahead and live your life. But guess what? Guess what? Your life includes your dad. And there's going to be so many reminders to remind you of your dad, including Father's Day, including his birthday, including your birthday, including in the future when you get married and you have children, and you're going to think to yourself, oh, I wish my dad was here, and think about how he would be celebrating these milestones with you. You're going to think about how he laughed, how he talked, things he would do, his favorite this, his favorite that. And those are the things that's not going to let you forget all about this ever happened. Because guess what? This did happen. And it's something that none of us can forget about. Including the possible culprits that may be responsible for it happening. I, too, suspect foul play. And I suspect that the person who may possibly, allegedly, be responsible for Bobby OJay being dead may have had some help from some very powerful persons. And we can just take some guesses about who that might be. But I have a feeling she had some help. And there may be some somewhat powerful people or person who holds a certain position affiliated with the radio station, because it just seems really strange how all of the incidents unfolded, and it was just so convenient for her, for the wife, and she's been acting so nonchalant ever since it happened. Why not call, or maybe she did, why not call 911 and tell them, look, I suspect there's something going on, a medical emergency perhaps with my husband, and I'm on my way. Can you go, and meet me at the radio station and check and see? Do a welfare check, and police, can you go and do a welfare check? I don't know if that happened, but in the event that it did not happen, it makes me wonder why it did not happen. And it just seems like she wasn't in a state of emergency after she found Bobby on the floor of the radio station. I'm hearing that he laid on the floor for 45 minutes. That's damn near an hour. And he was pretty much already dead. And it's very hard for me to believe that he could lay on that floor and the radio just played music continuously over and over and over again for 2 or 3 hours, I'm guessing. And no one at the radio station, and they have so many employees at the radio station, no one at the radio station thought to go check on Bobby. And they have glass separating each room of the radio station, and each office or each little department of the radio station where Bobby would be in the control room, there is another section in front of or beside or adjacent to wherever he is. So I'm asking myself, where is everybody? They can clearly see over there where he is, and I'm pretty sure they're hearing the music playing over and over and over again. Where is everybody? And then I'm looking at how calm and business as usual everybody seems to be at the radio station. And Bev, she's been with Bobby at the radio station close to the same amount of time that he's been there, close to 40 years. Kim, his wife, they've been together, I don't know how long, but they've been married for almost 2 years this month. Where is the tears? Where is the tears? If this is my husband who just abruptly died, I'm going to be so emotional. I'm just going to be so emotional. And if this is someone I work with, I'm going to be so emotional. Yes, I understand everybody grieves differently, so they say, but where is the emotions? Where is the tears? I haven't seen not one tear from anybody, not to say that they didn't cry. Maybe they cried at home, all alone with the lights off on their pillow. Maybe they cried in the car. Maybe they cried at the grocery store. I don't know. But I have not seen any tears. And that makes me question a lot of things, And it seems like a lot of the listeners of the radio station, including myself, we are more invested in this than a lot of the people at the radio station and his wife. It seems like we are more emotional about it than a lot of people at the radio station and his wife. And when I saw a lot of the pictures of his wife, Kim, and I'm sick of the people, Kim. Oh, his beautiful wife, Kim. And I know beauty is different in the eyes of different people, but I just don't see the beauty. I just don't see it. And I want to say something ugly, but I'm not going to say it. But I don't see the beauty. And I'll leave it right there. I just don't see it. But anyway, I was talking to somebody about this earlier today. And a lot of people like Bobby, A lot of people love Bobby, but a lot of people were jealous of Bobby, and a lot of people hated Bobby because Bobby was a representation of everything that they are not. And I heard someone recently say on another program, a radio program, or maybe a video, and they were saying that they did not like Bobby, but they listened to Bobby all the time, and they just wish that Bobby would have been more active in the black community than what he was or what he had been. Damn, Bobby is only one person. If you feel like Bobby should be doing more for the black community, what the fuck is your black ass doing? And see, a lot of people wanted Bobby to be everything to everybody. Meanwhile, they aren't doing shit for anybody. And I think that's very, very unfair to have these expectations and standards for Bobby that you don't even have for yourself. And I just really feel like if you didn't like Bobby, why even watch him and listen to him? Because you're jealous. Just like these garbage motherfuckers that look at me and watch me and come in my comment section like the garbage bitch that just came in my comment section that should have been aborted. And I'm going to try to keep this video classy. Ordinarily, I just limit the comments to members only because I really could care less about the garbage that comes and trolls my channel that should be on a job somewhere. You understand? And these are the mentally disturbed, mentally fucked up individuals of society that really are in the way of progress in society. They don't have nothing going on for themselves, and they try to be a deterrent of the people who are making moves out here, and they don't like what other people say because they want to control the narrative. And I don't give a fuck about those type of people. You know, and they are so hateful of the strength that a lot of us have, and a lot of the courage that a lot of us have, and the audacity of, you know, people like me and Bobby saying things that, you know, needs to be said. And I commend Bobby for having the courage to say a lot of things that need to be said. And a lot of people who fit the description of what we say, they don't like it. So they try to do a lot of things to cause distractions and to discredit us. But because God has an anointing, such a magnificent anointing all over us, what they say and what they do does not matter. Period. So I really question Kim's love for Bobby. When I look at these pictures after the funeral, and then let's talk about this. Before the funeral, Kim, she's so much in charge because she's the next of kin, you know. And despite the children, Bobby has 6 children, and she is like 30 years younger than Bobby. You know how a lot of older men, for whatever reason, they prefer a younger woman. But let's talk about this. I always protested Kim with Bobby, and I told Bobby in a inbox email. I told Bobby, I don't like this. I don't like it. And I thought it was too soon for Bobby to be getting hooked up with another woman after his beloved wife Sharon passed away suddenly from cancer. And that was what a lot of us consider to be the love of his life. And he had another wife before Sharon, Louise. I didn't know Louise, but I thought Sharon was such a sweet, sweet woman. And I think Bobby may have been just so lonely after Sharon. And he didn't want to stay in that big old house by himself. And he respected the institution of marriage so much. He just had to have somebody else. to, fill that void. But I just really don't like the fact that he just selected some what I consider to be trash. And I just can't stand it. The fact that so many prominent men, as well as regular men, they just love trash. I don't understand it. And Bobby, he could have had any woman that he wanted. But for whatever reason, in my opinion, he decided to dumpster dive and select some trash. And some people say she's from the seedy side of town over there in North Memphis. I'm pretty sure there's some decent people over there in North Memphis. But I'm talking about Kim in particular. I just consider her to be so low class trash. And he could have did so much better. I don't think she's beautiful at all. And and she's got these two grown children. And I just can't believe that Bobby selected this. And I never saw any love chemistry. I never saw the love connection. I just don't know. I just don't know I just don't know what it was all about. But anyway, I tried my best to respect Bobby's, decision. And I just never did appreciate him being married to this woman. And they say the eyes are the window to the soul. And you can tell, well, maybe y'all can't, but when you have a discernment, a spiritual discernment from God, he will let you read the spirit of these people. And from the very first time that I saw the window of that woman, I just felt like she was wicked. I just felt a lot of wicked energy. And I didn't think it was going to go well for Bobby with that woman. But I didn't know it was going to be this soon. 2 years. 2 years later. And Bobby is dead. And according to his son, Joshua, he had the same routine every day. And he was always talking about how he loved to drink those smoothies. Smoothies for breakfast, smoothies for lunch, smoothies for dinner. And he had turned into a vegan. So I'm wondering, did the new wife take advantage of that? Because according to Joshua, the new wife, Kim, had started making the smoothies for Bobby. And he allegedly mentioned on the radio show that the smoothies had started to taste different. And he wondered what Kim was doing different with the smoothies. Bobby, I'm so sad that you missed the red flag. Number one, I don't care how much I love this woman or this man. I'm not going to let you take advantage of my food or my drinks. I'm going to continue doing that myself. I don't trust these people. I don't care how much I love them. You can't trust these niggas. You can't trust them. Because we're in the middle of a pandemic / recession. And so many of them so desperate. And Bobby took this strange woman that already had 2 grown kids and provided a upgraded lifestyle for her. And I just don't think she appreciated it. She took it, and in my opinion, she seemingly took advantage of Bobby. Being that he was of age, even though he looked real good for his age. But these, I don't want to call her a whore. But these young women of this generation, a lot of them are all about the bag. And I just feel like she may have been one of those kind of women. And Bobby, he was all in love. But just like Joshua said, I think it was just a one-way street. I think Bobby was all in love all by himself. And the other person was all about what they could get out of the situation. And it's just so disgusting that to think that Bobby worked all of his radio life and accomplished so much. And here comes this gutter snipe, this scallywag off the street, wherever he got her from. I don't know where he got her from. And dusted her off and let her take a bath and cleaned her up, and she didn't even allegedly have to work. She was unemployed and she was just a housewife. And while Bobby was on the radio having fun and being a goodwill station, I just hate to think that this woman was plotting on Bobby, allegedly. And Bobby didn't see it coming. Bobby didn't see it coming. And now she's probably going to enjoy all of what Bobby worked for. It just makes me so disgusted. And some of these wicked people support her. And they feel like, oh, I read somebody's comment last night on Facebook. Oh, she earned everything that she's going to get. And I feel like she should be able to enjoy it. She worked for it. Wait, she worked for it? How did she work for it? Sucking on Bobby and screwing him every day and every night because he likes sex. I remember Bobby always talking about that sex. He loves sex. But, and going on trips with him, I don't consider that a lot of work. Okay? But you know these Jezebels, they support other Jezebels because they play for the same team. But I digress. So anyway, I'm so disgusted by all of this. I really am. And then they keep saying, rest in peace, Bobby, rest in peace. How can he rest in peace when he's probably been murdered? Woo! And it just makes me sick. It just makes me sick. It just makes me sick that this is probably going to be something that somebody's going to get away with. So let me say this before I go any further. If you are a troll, you will not have a platform on my channel tonight. Okay? So all of this random popping up in the comment section, it's not going to be tolerated. And I'm not going to be disturbed in my talking points. Okay? So you can just get ready to get blocked. Are you ready to get blocked tonight? Oh, is it anybody that needs to be blocked tonight? Just let me know. Where's my microphone? Just let me know, and I'll block your raggedy ass. I'm not going to tolerate you tonight. So if you're getting ready to troll this channel, you can just change your mind because Satan done sent you on an assignment that you cannot complete. Okay? You're going to have to abort that mission. I'm not going to tolerate you tonight. And all the trolls, your opinion does not matter. Not just for this video, but every video. Okay? All right. So with that being said, let's listen at Joshua, Bobby OJay's son. This is a video that he posted onto Facebook 6 days ago.
So we headed back to our domain now. So I got some thoughts. I also want to say thanks to everybody that showed up to my father's funeral. Thanks for everybody for their support and their condolences. Now, yesterday, I was going to speak at the funeral, but I chose not to because it was beautiful and I didn't want to turn my father's funeral into a hot mess. I also wanted to wait until he was in the ground and settled and resting to say what I had to say. So, if y'all could share this so I could get some legal counsel, And the reason why I need legal counsel is I need, for my safety of mind, to make sure that this email that my father sent to his brother as a will is not valid, or there's some things being hidden from us that we can't get. Kim was only married to my father for 2 years. She was with him for 4. Just to give y'all a little history, my mother was with him for 30 plus years until she passed. And to be honest, if she was still alive, they would more than likely be still together. Also, before that, he was with his other wife, Louise, for an extended amount of time. So you got Kim coming to picture. Like, my brothers and sisters went to go pick up some things from the house. And, first things first, you already keeping a whole house. And it is a will in that email that specifies otherwise. Okay? It specifies otherwise. But you got a whole house. But yet, you talking about keeping some little bracelets my daddy made, because he made them when he was with you. You couldn't even give them to my brothers and my sisters. You talking about stuff you gonna keep. You, what Drake say, you wasn't with him shooting at the gym. And I know, ladies and gentlemen, this shouldn't be a shocker or a secret. I don't trust Kim. I'm not gonna speak for the other kids. I don't trust Kim.
I don't trust Kim either.
I still don't even know how he died. I still don't know the true cause of death. I'm not saying she had anything to do with it. I'm just saying, if I lost somebody, I would be trying to figure out exactly what happened to them if they died. I wouldn't just shove it off. I would want to know exactly what happened. So we still don't know what happened to him. It's 4 different scenarios. Pick one. Which one was it? So, if y'all can help me get some legal counsel, or just let me know, well, hey, email not valid, booty boo, or if it's some stuff that we can do to prove that he actually sent the email and that it is valid, because there's a certain amount of greed going on, and we really want to hold on to his legacy, right? But we couldn't even hold on to no bracelets that he made. So, I'm speaking, I know some of my brothers and sisters might speak against what I'm doing at this very moment, but I can't help it. If I don't get this out here, I'm not going to be able to rest well, sleep well. I'm not going to be able to think, because it's like a scam almost. It's like part of the culture. Everybody think it's cool to marry an old guy and take him for his cash and take everything from his kids almost. And I just want to make sure, if that's what he set up, that's cool. If that's how he had it, I'm cool. But if that's not how he had it, we got jacked. At this point, all we have is what she's saying, right? All we have is what she's saying. And like I just told y'all, don't nobody trust Kim. I'm not going to speak for the other kids, but don't nobody trust Kim. You know what I'm saying? I don't trust Kim. She know I don't trust her.
I don't trust Kim either.
All we have is what she said, and that's not good enough for me. Y'all can help us out. That would be greatly appreciated. Thank you very much for listening.
He said he don't trust Kim. I don't trust Kim either. I don't trust Kim. I don't even know Kim. I don't want to know Kim. And I still don't trust Kim. I don't trust her. And Joshua makes it clear that this is not about money. It's not about material assets. But if he is due anything from his dad estate and he's supposed to be left something, it should go to Joshua. I agree with him 100%. And, I'm so passionate about this because I've gone through the same thing myself. So I'm very familiar with all this type of mess. And niggas are notorious for a bunch of mess. And it's sad that this strange woman just coming from out of nowhere 2 years ago, however many years she been involved with Bobby. I hope that she wasn't messing around with Bobby and tipping around with Bobby while he was married to Sharon. And I certainly hope that she wasn't messing around with him while Sharon was on a sick bed. Oh, don't let me find that out. Because I know I'm going to talk about it real bad. So, I think it's real low down of Kim, this, in my opinion, this blank blank wife. I think it's real low down that she didn't want to give Bobby's children a bracelet that Bobby made. Hell, like Joshua said, you already getting a whole big old house that you don't even, in my opinion, you don't even deserve. And at least you could give his children a bracelet that he made. Ooh, that lets you see how petty she is. That lets you see how petty she is. Ooh, and how, in my opinion, wicked she is. And I agree with Joshua. It's very important that his legacy be preserved. Here go this woman that probably hasn't built nothing for herself and probably don't own nothing but a Facebook that's in her name. And she don't own that, and Facebook take it away from her. And here she is inheriting somebody else's legacy, and she don't have a legacy of her own built and established other than what she is suspected of doing to Bobby. And I just don't think it's right to just disregard his children. Hell, his children was there before you was. And then for you to try to make accommodations for your children, where are their daddy? Where is their daddy? Okay? And then you just gonna disregard Bobby's children? That's not right. I don't care how you wicked people try to justify it. That's not right. And I have been listening to Bobby for over 30 years. And he was always bragging about Josh. Josh this, Josh that, Josh. I got sick of Bobby talking about Josh. But that let me know how much he loved Josh. And I know he left something for Josh. I know he did. In his will, I know Bobby left Josh something. If he didn't leave nobody nothing. I know he left Josh something. So nobody can make me believe that he didn't leave Josh nothing in the event of his death. Whether it be a natural death or an untimely death, such as the way that it was. I really believe that there has been a lot of sabotage going on and a lot of plotting against Bobby going on behind his back. And I found out it's been so much back and forth going on about that house. And when I found out that there was another house that Kim, the wife, her kids supposed to be living in $150,000 house across town for her grown kids. Hell, if they grown, why aren't the grown kids buying their own house? Now, I could see Bobby maybe, possibly co-signing for them a house, but I can't get nobody to make me believe that Bobby bought a whole $150,000 house for Kim's grown kids. I think somebody plotted against Bobby. And I think they did it behind his back. I really don't believe that Bobby bought that house for them grown kids. He didn't even buy his own kids a house. And Bobby, from listening to him over the years, 30 years of listening to Bobby, I learned a lot about Bobby. And Bobby, I wouldn't say that he was cheap, but he was very, very, very cautious about what he did with his money and his resources. And I really suspect that there was a lot of things going on behind Bobby's back that he didn't know about. And last night I read from Joshua, his son. He was saying that Kim had first said that the house wasn't paid for. She still had to pay on the house. Then they found out that was a lie. They found out from going downtown and, looking through the legal paperwork that the house is paid for. Kim done told a lie. Kim has allegedly told a bunch of lies. She, in my opinion, is a wicked woman. Oh, it just makes me sick. And then Joshua posted on Facebook last night, and allegedly, Bobby had allegedly let Kim be in charge. And this was a big mistake right here, if this is true. Kim allegedly was in charge of paying the bills and doing all the banking. Oh, Bobby. That was a big mistake. Oh, I think Bobby got pussy whipped a little bit. And she was probably in there sucking on him and screwing him real good. And he probably lost his mind a little bit. You know, because he loves sex. And like a lot of men, they love sex. And a lot of these Jezebels use sex to get them under their control. So, if that's true, I can easily see how Bobby got bamboozled and let the wife be in charge of paying the bills because he was so busy with his job and everything. So he probably let her do that to give her something to do with her unemployed stinking ass. Forgive me, Lord. Oh, I'm just so upset about this. I'm so upset about it. And in my opinion, she probably took advantage of that. Oh, when she got inside that bank account and saw all that money. Woo! And she probably came from nothing. And she wasn't used to all that big old house, all this money, and all these cars. I think they had 3 luxury cars. And, ooh, she couldn't take it. And so I think she took advantage of that. And I think that she was the one that bought that extra house. What did Bobby need with an extra house? He already got a great big old house that was practically 3 houses in 1 house. That's how big it was. And from looking at it from the outside, I estimated that house was probably between $300,000 and $500,000. And so according to Joshua, there was another house bought for her grown kids. Why the grown kids can't buy their own house? Why? I just can't see Bobby buying her grown kids a whole $150,000 house. That doesn't even make sense. That don't even sound like something that Bobby would do. Okay? It just don't even sound like something that Bobby would do. And then he got this whole big old house, and him and her is living in the house. That doesn't even make sense. And this was done back in November of last year, 2021. And between 2021, November 2021, and February of this year, 2022, Kim was very busy. Busy. And according to the cousin pastor, he has been helping Joshua research a whole lot of legal paperwork connected to this house and Bobby's estate. And I commend the cousin pastor. I thank him for helping Joshua, because Joshua was just lost. He didn't know what to do. Plus, he's grieving. And he's brand new to this arena, you know, and he's just lost as it relates to fighting this woman. And she's allegedly telling a bunch of lies to Joshua and the other kids. So they don't know what to do and where to look and where to go. So according to the paperwork that the cousin pastor found, the deeds of the house had different signatures. So he suggested to Joshua that he get a handwriting analysis expert to view the handwriting, because on one of the documents, it left the S off of Jones. You know, Bobby OJay, his real name was Joe Louis Jones. And I just can't see Bobby writing his name for 68 years. Well, a little less than 68 because I'm pretty sure he wasn't writing his name when he was born or up until he was maybe 5, 6, 7 years old. But you get my point. I just can't see Bobby writing his name for that many years and forgetting the S on the end of Jones. And the cousin pastor said the handwriting doesn't look the same. So I suspect that the wife allegedly forged the signature on the paperwork for the houses. I also suspect that Bobby didn't know none of this was going on. And maybe when Bobby found out, between February and April, February, March, April, there's 3 months. I suspect Bobby found out about it. Maybe somebody from the bank, Bancorp South, I think somebody called Bobby from the bank. Or maybe somebody from the bank or somewhere sent Bobby some mail in the mailbox. And she probably thought Bobby wasn't going to go to the mail. She was probably rushing to the mailbox every day to beat Bobby from getting the mail. You know, because she didn't want to, she was trying to track her, you know, her footsteps. And maybe Bobby, one fine day while he was taking his walk, you know, he always loved to do all his walking and exercising. Maybe Bobby said, woo, it's a nice day outside. Let me check and look in this mailbox. And to his surprise, maybe he found out all about all this money that had been getting spent. And he was in all this debt. And he has been saving all this money probably. And he was intending to leave all this money and all these assets to his children and his grandchildren, his brother, his sister, his nieces, his nephew. And now, at 68 years old, he's over his head in debt. And Bobby probably just really exploded and was like, look, what are you doing? What's going on? And he probably was telling her in a real because you know Bobby take a lot for him to get upset. And he probably told her, look, we're gonna have to go our separate ways. I'm just, this is too much for me. I didn't know that you was this kind of woman. And this is really hurtful. This is embarrassing to me. I think we can still be friends, but I think we're gonna have to just cut our ties and, you know, be real amicable about this. I didn't know you was this kind of woman. Now I'm finding out that you this kind of woman. And so then she probably cried. She looked like she liked to cry and manipulate. And she was probably talking to her mama or somebody. And they probably said, look, we got to get rid of Bobby. We got to get rid of him. Because I want that spot at the radio station. Anyway, he been there too long. And I want to do things my way. Plus, I need the money. The pandemic and the recession is hurting my pockets. I want that job. I'm tired of waiting on Bobby to get to leave, you know, by natural death. We need to rush him up out of here. That's what I suspect. Somebody got together and plotted against Bobby. And then when he found out about all of this money that had been getting transferred and stolen and all of this suspected embezzlement and blah, 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 I think Bobby was getting ready to call the police and put somebody in jail and just really, really cause somebody an inconvenience. So they started plotting against Bobby and said, look, we're going to have to take Bobby up out of here by any means necessary, but make it look like it's his help. done failed on him. Yeah. And they got real messy with that part. And Kim allegedly was so in a rush to get Bobby's body, you know, sent down there and had his eyeballs taken out. Now you're supposed to be grieving, Kim. Why are you worried about Bobby's eyeballs? I can't believe she had Bobby's eyeballs. And I said, my God. And then the family, the siblings, they said that they was very adamant about telling Kim that they wanted his organs to stay in his body because they wanted an autopsy. And then she lied and said, okay, she wanted them okay bitches. Okay, meanwhile, they plotting in their head about doing something different. I know about them okay bitches. I can't stand an okay bitch. And then they already done decided to do something different. So that's what she did. That's what she did. And according to Joshua, not only did she have the eyeballs taken out, they think that she had the organs removed too. So therefore, it's impossible to get an autopsy done. Why was she in such a hurry? And she's supposed to be grieving, right? And then she had the skin and the tissue removed. Whew. Bobby was very busy down at the morgue. He was very busy. And the children didn't know all of this was getting done to Bobby. And they wondering, just like I'm wondering, why did she remove the eyeballs? Did she need some money? Did she sell the eyeballs? Where are the eyeballs? Where is the organs? Did she sell the organs? Did she sell the skin? Did she sell the tissue? Where is, ooh, this is terrible. So it looks like all of this taking the eyeballs and taking the organs and taking the skin and taking the tissue might be a cover-up in order to not be able to get an autopsy. Therefore, she can get away with what she is suspected of doing that led to Bobby being where he is now. So how can we say rest in peace, Bobby, under these conditions? So anyway, when I saw pictures of Kim right after the funeral, Kim is just smiling and waving like she at a concert instead of a funeral. What the fuck are you smiling about? Once again, where are the tears? She just smiling and waving and taking pictures with the fans like she is a celebrity and she is at a concert instead of a funeral for her husband. And then, allegedly, right after the funeral, when they took Bobby to the cemetery, Joshua said she was in a rush to get away. She left the cemetery in such a rush. And allegedly, she went on a cruise. Who does that? Who does that? Who goes on a cruise right after their husband or wife dies abruptly? Who does that? Oh, she living her best hot girl life. Oh, she living her best hot girl life at Bobby's expense. This is so disgusting to me. It really is. So I can imagine when she get back from her cruise. Oh, she probably gonna sell that house and go out of town because she don't want all this pressure and people coming by the house taking pictures and looking at her and trying to see who is she done replace Bobby with. Who is laying up in Bobby's bed? She don't want us to see that. She don't want us to see who laying up in that big old house with her. So she probably gonna sell that. She want be private. She gonna want to be private. And she don't want no interruptions while she doing all this shopping with Bobby's money and life insurance policy money and all of this and all of that. She don't want nobody going in the garbage can looking at her mail and putting one and two together and getting whatever they gonna get. And it's so disgusting. Yeah. Her and her daughter and her son, they probably gonna buy brand new vehicles. They probably gonna buy a whole bunch of brand new wigs, her and her daughter. They probably gonna buy, they're gonna throw their old clothes away. They're gonna throw them away and give them to Goodwill. And speaking of Goodwill, allegedly, according to Bobby's daughter, child, the witch done gave Sharon, Bobby's second wife, she gave Sharon's wedding rings to the Goodwill. Ooh, you know that's low down. Why would you give the Goodwill that woman's wedding rings? I think her children would appreciate those. Oh, some things you just don't do. And that's one of them. That's real low down right there. That's low down. And I'm pretty sure that Bobby's children would have wanted those wedding rings from their mother. And I really want to hear from his daughter more about that situation. Did Bobby know that she was going to give the wedding rings to the Goodwill? Allegedly, she gave the rings to the Goodwill. And what did he say? What did he do after he found out? Okay. And what else did she do that we don't know about? And you know, Bobby, he received a whole lot of different awards and plaques, particularly the most recent plaque that he received when he was inducted into the Tennessee Radio Music Hall of Fame. That's something legendary, you know, that relates to his legacy. His children really want to preserve that. And I'm hopeful that they will be able to get that. And his children, Josh, you and your siblings, y'all moving too slow, honey. I know y'all grieving, but y'all need to put some pep in y'all step because this wicked woman is moving so fast. Y'all gonna I know y'all want to cry. Y'all want to grieve over Bobby, but honey, you got to understand Jezebel got some speed in her ass. And y'all gonna have to get some speed in y'all toes, okay? Y'all need She doing a lot. She doing a lot in such a short period of time. So y'all gonna have to hurry up and beat Jezebel at her game if you can. Because she already done did so much. She already have did so much. And I don't know if they will be able to recover and get a lot of Bobby's memorabilia out of that house before she sell it and give it away and throw it away. I don't know. But I'm just hopeful that Josh and his siblings will be able to recover a lot of that stuff in the house. But first of all, how you gonna know what's in there? Because she ain't letting you in there to take no pictures unless y'all went in there when Bobby first died, when y'all was getting ready to go to the funeral and y'all took some pictures then. I don't know. But you're gonna have to have an inventory of everything in order to prove that she done did something with it when you can't find it. Okay? So, I also heard Joshua talk about a will was emailed to Bobby's brother. I have never heard of anybody emailing a will. So it makes me think, was that Bobby emailing the will to his brother, or was it somebody else? Ooh, it's so many layers of wickedness to this situation. Oh, it's so much wickedness attached to this situation. So the brother, Bobby's brother, has been so quiet. Why are you so quiet, Bobby's brother? I need you to step to the mic. I need you to step to the mic and to verify a lot of this stuff that's getting said about you and about Bobby's brother. I mean, Bobby and his situation and everything. I think it's real low down to y'all to let Josh be the only one talking, and y'all don't support Josh, and you letting Josh put his neck out there on the line, and then y'all gonna benefit after Josh get through, going through all of these attacks. I think that's real low down to y'all. The family. Y'all know this is wrong, and you're back there in the background whispering, and you're letting Joshua take all the shots. That's real low down to y'all. But y'all say y'all love Bobby. How can you love Bobby and you don't show the same love for his son? How can you love Bobby when you letting his son take all these shots out here by himself? And people are so low down. They so low down. So it doesn't surprise me. And yes, I think this is low down. What's going on? Yes. And I want to know if this is authentic. This will that get emailed to Bobby's brother. I need Bobby's brother to confirm this, and we need some legal people to get involved to verify if it's legal and authentic. And I don't know what that's all about. I don't know what's the details of the will. I don't know why if Bobby really emailed the will, why did he do it at this time? Was it changed from a previous will after he found out some stuff that Kim or somebody else may have done? But somebody said that this will was emailed to Bobby's brother like a week or a few weeks right before he died. So I'm wondering, did Bobby find out some stuff and then he was getting ready to get away from Kim and then he died? But if that's the case, and he did email the will to his brother, hopefully Jezebel won't get a chance to throw a lot of his stuff away. But the family needs to get a court order and freeze Bobby's bank account right now, because she probably already has transferred his money to a separate account. And they're going to have to file a lawsuit plus possibly a police report, because she probably gonna spend a whole lot of that money and give some of her family members and friends some of the money to save for her. And she gonna be like, what money? Later on when the family go to asking about it. I'm pretty sure she done transferred Bobby's money, because she probably got access. They probably had joint banking accounts. So she probably done transferred all of Bobby's money over to another account. Ooh, this is sick. And I wonder, did Bobby have an attorney over his estate? And does his children know who that attorney is? Or his brothers? I don't know why his brothers and sisters so quiet. Or maybe they moving in silence like some gangsters. If that's the case, I can respect y'all silence. Maybe y'all moving in silence like gangsters. Somebody need to do something. Instead of letting this girl just rape Bobby's legacy and his estate and leave his children out here with nothing, while she make provisions for her own children. Woo, this is so low down and evil. So let's listen at Joshua's second video that he did about this and posted it 5 days ago on Facebook. This is part 2. And he's asking, was this murder? We need answers. And also, he had posted a GoFundMe where he's asking for support and help, and so many people asking all these questions and making all these comments on his Facebook page and telling him, you need a lawyer, you need a lawyer. He knows that. And getting a lawyer takes money. These same people who are instigating and telling him that he needs a lawyer, they probably ain't donating nothing to the GoFundMe. But anyway, let's listen at part 2.
My sister Casey, the same day that my father died, told Kim that she wanted to see the body before they did anything to it. Kim said, okay. Something's been done to the body, okay? We didn't get an autopsy. And when we asked Kim about it, she just so nonchalantly says, oh, I don't think they do an autopsy. I just think, the coroner, whatever, the coroner, whatever. She has a coroner's report. She doesn't have a medical examiner's report. She does not have that. She does not have a medical examiner's report. And when we asked her about it, she danced all around it, right? We heard all these different scenarios of what could have happened to my father as he laid there on the studio floor of the radio station for 45 minutes, and nobody checked on my dad. Nobody checked on him. Nobody checked. But also, she was the first one to find him. Did you make him lunch that day, Kim? What you make him that day, Kim? Where's that food at? Did you throw it away? Who knows? I'm not saying you had anything to do with it. I'm saying we want an autopsy. We wanted that. You knew we wanted that, and you didn't give it to us. You know what else you didn't give us? You didn't give us the legacy that he left us, because in that email that he sent to his brother, we were supposed to split the estate. 6 months before his death, you were added to the deed that my mom's name was on. But hold on, it gets greater, because my pops blessed you and bought you and your kids a house to live in. But it turns out, one house wasn't good enough. You had to come and take our house. Who did the transfer though? Because as I'm looking at these deeds, some of the handwriting don't look like my dad's handwriting. So my question is, what the hell happened to my daddy? What happened to my father? Because you don't know. You don't know if he had a stroke. You don't know if he had an aneurysm. You don't know if he had a heart attack. You don't know if it was his vertigo in his head. You over there making educated guesses like the coroner make educated guesses. We don't want that, Kim. We wanted an autopsy. And you didn't give us that. And it's very suspicious. That's all. We're not saying you're a cold-hearted, gold-digging ass murderer. I'm not saying that. Of course I'm not. That would be a terrible thing to put on someone's wife that happens to be 30 years younger. So crazy. Also, my sister telling you that she didn't want anything done to the body, and you still hurry up and make sure that something's done to the body. Dad heard my dad. My sister clearly said she didn't want that to happen. What was the cover-up? Was there a cover-up? Because, Kim, when we asked you at the funeral home, at the first viewing, when they just had my pops on the table and he didn't look like himself, Mr. Cooley, you did your thing. Because at the wake, my pops looked really good. He didn't look good the first time we seen him. We told you that. But we know you wasn't finished. But at the wake, my pops looked good. Mr. Cooley, you the man for that. But, I don't care nothing about Mr. Cooley telling us that my father didn't suffer. I want to know what the hell happened to my dad. And Kim also left before my father was even in the ground, right? She was gone. Like, where you going? You going to the repast? You hungry? You can eat right now? You hungry? The chicken was good, wasn't it? Chicken was good at the repast, wasn't it? So, it's a lot of things up in the air, man, because my pops wasn't no sucker. And if it's true enough that Kim, your pussy is so good that you can just get 2 houses out of a nigga, well, hey, man, more power to you. But see, the problem you're having, especially with a son like me, is I know my father. I know my father, and my father was not a goofy ass nigga. So what it feels like to me is he got you a house because the will that I'm talking about in the email is supposed to go to the siblings, not you. So who did the transfer, Kim? Who did the transfer? Was it my father or was it you with his information? Because why would you even want two houses? Why would you even want to be greedy like that? Why would you do that? Doesn't make sense at all. You're gonna keep two houses, and you're just gonna give us some clothes that he had and whatever insurance money that the siblings get. I mean, that's cool, whatever. But I'm gonna tell you, a lot of us continued living our lives and had the same amount of money we've been having. Cause I'm not gonna lie to you, Kim. I don't really care about getting paid because my father died. I'd rather have my dad here. I'd rather be able to call him and talk to him like I used to randomly. And I didn't call a lot, but when I did call my pops, me and him was on the phone laughing. So, I feel like something took that away from him. Whether it was just a heart attack or a stroke. But then my question is, who did the transfer on the houses 6 months before he passed? And why did you disobey my sister's orders, which is his daughter, and you hurried up and had the body done? You don't even know how he died. You don't know how he died. Or you say you don't know. What'd you make him that morning or that night? What happened to that stuff? Did you go to the radio station to get rid of what you had made him? I'm just saying, I'm not pointing the finger. I'm just asking questions because I don't trust you. Nobody trusts you. You're 30 years old running around with a 68-year-old man or 30-something. Come on now, you know it's fishy. You've seen the movies, right? You've seen the real world. Don't be shocked at how I'm acting. Don't be shocked because I never wanted to hug or talk to you or your fucking stupid ass kids. Your kids, them motherfuckers looking at us like we the step kids. Motherfucker, y'all ain't even Joneses. You know what I'm saying? Your little goofy ass son looking at me like, oh, why he got an attitude? Why the fuck you think I got an attitude, little nigga? Why you think? Because your mama over here trying to finesse. And, all I'm going to say about it is this. I'm coming back to Memphis. And, I won't be hiding. I'll let you know when I'm there. I'll personally call you. I have your number. I get it from Casey, my sister, who told you not to do anything to the body, and you did something to the body. I get the number. And I'll call you. And, I'll let you know that I'm in town. And then, I'll probably pop up. Because, look, I know you got peoples. And you from the hood. I know you from the hood. I ain't from the hood. I'm from the suburbs. I'm fine with that. And what you say to us, I know you said you ain't no bitch. That's cool. You don't gotta be no bitch. But at the same breath and token, what the fuck happened to my dad? And why is you trying to do us like that? Is this a game to you? It's not a game to me. Because it's just not. It's I feel robbed. Not of the things. I feel robbed of not having my dad anymore and not knowing why. And having all this weird shit happen after the fact. That I know, especially if I know there's an emailed will. I can understand why he got you and your kids a house. Because you weren't supposed to have that one. You weren't supposed to have two houses. Come on, man. I know my pops. And I need somebody to help. It ain't like I'm not asking for no free legal counsel. I'm not asking. I'm just asking to see what can we do. I need a motherfucker to let me know we can do something. And the World Wide Web is the best place to do it. So that's where we at, Kim. That's where we are. That's where we are. So I just go to work, mind my business, and now my dad dead, and I don't even know what happened, and he running around with some little 30-year-old that say she loved him, but he was 68. I'm not saying it couldn't have been true love. I'm just saying it's weird. It's not likely. It's not likely that you weren't finessing, right? And you gonna take it all, huh? You think you about to enjoy all that? You think you about to enjoy all y'all think y'all finna enjoy some shit. That shit crazy. But all I'm saying is y'all think y'all about to enjoy some shit. Oh my mama. And that's cool. That's cool. But I just really, before things take a really bad turn, you know what I really want to hear? This is what I want to hear. I want to hear, yeah, man, your pops, he left for 2 ounces. Proof. I need proof, though. That's what I want to hear. And then, you know what? Your pussy just must be that good. I can't say nothing about it. But, until we find out, everything is up in the motherfucking air. So, help us out. This is the last video I'm making talking about this. This is it. And I'm going to reply to this lady that was talking about my videos on her live stream. She has blonde hair and a green backdrop.
Okay. Okay. Joshua also posted this posted this other thing in the Facebook. But before I do that, let me read this post from the cousin pastor. He posted 5 days ago. In November of last year, Bobby quit claimed his home to his current wife, Kim. On the deed is written survivor rights, which means that if he dies, his spouse gets the property. The question I ask is, doesn't the wife automatically get the property? The answer was no. Survivor of rights can't be challenged. Thus, I'm told that there is nothing that his children can do. I believe this was not his idea, but Kim's. I also believe that Bobby had a heart condition because for a doctor to sign off on a debt where it said he laid on the floor for 45 minutes, the doctor had to know something was wrong with his heart. I'm also sure Kim knew and had him protect her and with the quit claim deed. That's the cousin pastor saying that. Okay, so his daughter, Shandy, said 4 days ago on Facebook, he had no past medical history, no recent medical complaints. Yet, you didn't want an autopsy for your husband? Y'all save your condolences for this lying, scheming, bottom of the barrel asshole. Like she said on the air 5 days before he mysteriously turned up dead, she'll be fine after Bobby. Kim, you know what? Let's meet up. I'm still in Memphis for the moment. I just want to talk. Can we do that? Or are you on that cruise you got the whole hood talking about? This is really, really interesting. This Kim, she is something else. From what I'm seeing all over Facebook, she is something else. So somebody on one of the WDIA, the radio station where Bobby worked, one of the fan pages on Facebook, they posted, these are legitimate questions. Why wouldn't Kim want an autopsy? States clearly that he didn't have a history of any medical problems nor complaints. Why would you drive 20 plus minutes opposed to calling the receptionist or whomever at the job directly? Also, no one at iHeart Radio didn't notice anything. Wow. So this is a lot. Okay, here is a comment from one of the fans of Bobby. His name is Stephen Wigley. He wrote this on Joshua's Facebook page 4 days ago. He says, Josh, I was a fan of your dad. I'm from Memphis and I have been living in South Florida for the past 5 years, and I listen to your father's show daily to stay connected to my beloved M-Town. Bobby OJay was an entertainment figure for me, and I miss him dearly, but that does not compare to the pain of the loss of your father for you and your siblings. I pray that God guides you and your siblings in all wisdom and knowledge as it relates to your father's passing. Lastly, I pray that God will be your source of comfort and peace during this time. Be blessed, young brother. You look just like your father. May you walk in his legacy into your own greatness. It's right around the corner. That's very nice. Okay, so this is so hurtful. It's so hurtful. It's so traumatic and unbelievable. So anyway, um, Joshua did an interview with the cousin pastor recently, and even though although he's saying that he's going to abort his mission of trying to get justice for his dad, I think that's just a temporary thing based on the pressure that he's receiving, and the backlash that he's receiving from some members of his family that oppose him standing up for what's right. Maybe they want to be private. But this is a very public matter. I can understand you wanting to be private, but damn it, this is an exception to that. It should be an exception to that. This is a very extraordinary set of circumstances, and I can respect you for wanting to be private, but I cannot respect you for not having the courage to respect Joshua for doing what you don't have the courage to do. If you don't want to do it and you don't have the courage to do it, you don't have the time or the interest to do it, you don't have the money to do it, well, hell, get the hell out of the way and let Joshua do it. It's just sickening. It's just sickening how so many black people, especially, don't have the courage to fight, but you get out here and fight for some bullshit. But you won't fight for what really matters when it's time to fight. For what really matters. But anyway, this is the interview that Joshua did with the cousin pastor. Let's listen.
Now you're excellent. Now you're excellent. So, what we're trying to do is trying to make sure that everything equals what it's supposed to. 2 plus 2 is 4. And right now, honest about a third person that married my father.
So, how do you feel about Kim?
Well, you know, I think it's pretty clear how I feel about Kim. You know, if anybody has watched the videos that I made, I think it's pretty clear that my feelings are pretty bitter. And rightfully so.
I'll be right back.
I have no answers.
I'll be right back.
Even when we personally asked for answers and tried to get them, and everything with her was nonchalant. And that's not something that is unusual. So far, when we first started talking to her, we had 3 different scenarios, 4 different scenarios on what may have happened to my father coming from Kim.
What were those scenarios?
Well, you know, there was just, what I will say is this, they all were kind of different, and how she described my father when she found him, that also changed in her statement that she talked to us over, like the fact that she said it was blood coming out of his mouth, and he looked, I forgot the word that she used, but it wasn't peaceful. But when we went, the first time we viewed the body, he said he looked peaceful, just like he did in the radio station. But that's not what she said at first. See, what people are forgetting is, you know, we're humans and we are not idiots. We're paying attention to inconsistencies. And Kim had several inconsistencies revolving around my father's death. You know.
So, Josh,
if my father wasn't healthy, if my father had been hit by a train or a plane crash or accident or something, you know, everything would have been cut and dry. You know, he died in a plane crash. But you go ahead and make sure, or try to make sure, that we can never really find out what happened to our father by getting rid of his organs. After, you know, the same day he died, we was on the road a couple hours after we got everybody together and we headed down to Memphis. And like I said on the video, my sister Casey told her she wanted to see the body before, you know, they did anything to the body. And Kim said, okay, out of her own mouth. She said, okay. But as soon as we got there, things had already changed.
So,
you know,
let's go back.
The crazy part into it, the timeline from Batesville to St. Francis. You know, in the time that we told her we didn't want anything done, there could have been stopped, right? Because Batesville is like an hour just from my father's house. So you add St. Francis, you probably add in another 25 minutes. So that's an hour and 25 minutes just to go pick my father.
Well,
and then that's another hour and 25 minutes from the drive back. Within that time, there was a lot of time for Mr. Cooley to be contacted.
Well, let me
do anything to the body.
All right, let me go through some things, Josh. First of all, you know I have my hands on the medical report at St. Francis Hospital. You've seen them online. And it says here on the nursing notes, patient will be an ME case, organ donation notified at 1300. Patient is a candidate for tissue and eye care done prior to transporting patient to the morgue. So in the normal operation of this, they would take the body to the lab and remove the tissue or whatever else they need to move. Then they have a note on here, family would like the body to be released to Cooley Mortuary in Batesville, Mississippi. Now, let's clear up a fact, Josh. Had your father ever spoken of he wanted his organs donated to science or anybody else?
No, that's, that's what I said. Like, when I was young.
Okay.
And when I was a teenager, all of these years when death would come up around us, he would always say the same thing. I want to keep all my organs. That's one thing he always said when we would talk about things of that nature. So just that in itself is odd. Also, the robbery that's going on by Kim is odd.
Well, let me work. If you don't mind, Josh, let me work up to that. Let's work up to
okay.
that.
Well, let me say something real quick.
Okay.
Okay. So I'm not able to view the actual show because I don't the internet. Could you tell me how many people are tuned in?
Quite a few.
Okay.
And by tomorrow, by tomorrow,
I watched it.
By tomorrow, it'll be double.
That you said what now?
I said, and by this time tomorrow, it'll be 3 times what's on there now. Because I'm an hour so late coming on the air.
Yeah. That's not an issue. What I did want to point out is this. We are going to have to fight. So, if let's say there's 1,000 kills, right? We're going to be closer to our goal in finding out what happened to our father, making sure that everything is on the up and up, because right now, everything is not on the up and up. We all work, but what it's going to take to fight this hard, we're going to need some assistance. And this is the last thing that I will ever want to do is ask people for money. I barely want to, ask anybody in my family for money, for little stuff. But this right here, we are going to have to fight, and if you're just looking at this as a source of entertainment and don't want to help us, I don't say shame on you, but if you really think feel like
Let me stop. Josh, let me stop you right there. I'm good at what I do, like your dad was good at what he does. Okay, your dad and I were not friends at the time that he died. Okay, for several years, and it has nothing to do with radio. I don't have to do this for entertainment. Nobody at DIA gives a fuck about what happened because they didn't give a fuck enough to go to the control room and see what was going on. So I don't need this as a sense of entertainment, and I want you to understand that. I'm doing this because I feel that there is a need. I feel that something happened in that studio that none of us know about. First of all, I got an issue when I looked at the timeline of what time she got to the studio. The time that it takes to drive from the studio, to get into that building, to get up to the studio. What motivated you to go to the studio? That's first of all, right? Second of all, I read the report that you gave to the doctor about what was going on when you got to the hospital. Her statement is from the doctor, spoke to the patient's wife in person. Wife states that the patient was at work when she last spoke to the patient around 8:30. states that he usually gets into, goes on the radio around 9 o'clock, but did not. States that around 9:40, she went to check on the patient at his job and found him on the floor unresponsive. States that the patient does not have any past medical history. States that the patient has not had any recent medical complaints. I got an issue with two things, Josh. I got an issue in the timeline of her getting from, and I live around the corner. I live about a mile from the home address. I know how long it takes to get across town. And at 9:20 in the morning, the traffic is tough. I look at that, then I look at the factor, man, that your father in the studio, and between 9 o'clock and 9:40, nobody at that radio station goes in to check on your father. Now, when I look at the factor that the music kept on playing at 9 o'clock and your father didn't say anything, it would seem to me that somebody would go to the studio and see what had happened to your father. Now, those are two issues that I got. What made me real interested in this issue, and I'm the last somebody that probably you, especially Kim, and anybody else would have thought that would get involved in this. But the right thing is the right thing. And I'll say this though, Josh, I wish that the differences that your father and I had in the past, that before death occurred, that we could have straightened those issues out. But I want you to know, I've gone thoroughly through this case. I look at, and you said robbery. One of the things I'm going to instill in you, and I hope that you will follow this direction, is that before you get a lawyer, you get a signature expert. I pull all the documents on that house, on those houses, on all three documents. The signatures are different. Are you aware that your father took out a loan earlier this year for $200,000?
You know, I'm aware that he got the house for her and her children. I didn't know how he got it per se, but I was aware.
Well, he took out two loans, and I got the paperwork. He took out one for $150,000. And see, I think, and here's what I think, man. I think that the quick deeds was her backup plan. Because when he got the house that the children are in, her name was not on the house at all. Period. He paid all. I got the paperwork. I got the mortgage papers right here in front of me right now. Her name.
Hello, everybody. Sorry about that interruption. I don't know where it stopped at, but I had stepped out of the room. So I'll back up the audio, and we'll start from the top. The phone had cut off Jay Edwards while I was out of the room. So I'll start the audio back from the top. I don't know where it stopped at, but I don't want y'all to miss any of this great interview. So let's start it back from the top. Hello, Jay Edwards and everybody else that stepped into the room. Okay, let's proceed.
So, what we're trying to do is trying to make sure that everything equals what it's supposed to be. 2 plus 2 is 4. And right now, 2 plus 2 is equal, 300,
let me stop it to ask. Can you all hear? Jay Edwards, can you all hear pretty good? Can you hear the audio pretty good? Yes or no? Okay, thank you, Jay Edwards. Okay, let us continue.
How she moved after the fact, based on, her being the first person to find him, based on her selling his organs or donating the organs, taking his eyes out. Because I knew my father. We've had these conversations when I was a child, multiple times when I was a teenager, all through the years. Death will come up and you're talking about it. And that's one thing that he always said that he wanted to keep his origins. So we're working to find out, exactly where his organs went to. If we can get them back. This is pretty messy. It's a pretty messy situation because there's a lot of things that are dishonest about a certain person that happens to be married to my father.
So, how do you feel about Kim?
Well, I think it's pretty clear how I feel about Kim. If anybody has watched it.
Okay, Jay Edwards has a question. You want to know whose organs, Jay Edwards? Bobby OJay. His organs was removed per, allegedly, his wife Kim. This is so evil. Despite his daughter, his oldest daughter, and all of his 6 kids adamantly requesting that his organs remain so they could get an autopsy. She initially allegedly said, okay, but then went behind their back and had Bobby's organs removed. Yes, this is allegedly a dirty bitch. But there's more. Let us continue.
Videos that I made. I think it's pretty clear that my feelings are pretty bitter.
Awful.
And rightfully so. I have no answers. Even when we asked, we personally asked for answers and tried to get them. And everything with her was nonchalant. And that's not something that is usual. So far, when we first started talking to her, we had 4 different scenarios on what may have happened to my father coming from Kim.
What were those scenarios?
Well, there was just, what I will say is this, they all were kind of different, and how she described my father when she found him, that also changed in her statement that she talked to us over the day, like the fact that she said it was blood coming out of his mouth, and he looked, I forgot the word that she used, but it wasn't peaceful. But when we went, the first time we viewed the body, he said he looked peaceful, just like he did in the radio station. But that's not what she said at first. See, what people are forgetting is, we're humans and we are not idiots. We're paying attention to inconsistencies. And Kim had several inconsistencies revolving around my father's death.
So Josh,
if my father wasn't healthy, if my father had been hit by a train or a plane crash or accident or something, everything would have been cut and dry. He died in a plane crash. But you go ahead and make sure, or try to make sure, that we can never really find out what happened to our father by getting rid of his organs. After, the same day he died,
We was on the road a couple hours after we got everybody together, and we headed down to Memphis. And like I said on the video, my sister Casey told her she wanted to see the body before, they did anything to the body. And Kim said, okay, out of her own mouth. She said, okay. But as soon as we got there, things had already changed.
So, let's go back.
The crazy part into it, the timeline from Batesville to St. Francis. In the time that we told her we didn't want anything done.
Okay, let me pause again. Jay Edwards has a comment. Jay Edwards says this man continued drinking the smoothies after he said they tasted different. And now she had the organs removed on the slick. What about tissue samples? Is that a possibility to check? No, it's not, Jay Edwards, because guess what? She had the tissue in the skin removed too. Can you believe that, Jay Edwards? She, the grieving wife, had the skin and the organs and the tissue and the eyeballs. Even the eyeballs. She had it all removed. Yes. Doesn't that sound suspicious, Jay Edwards? Who does that, Jay Edwards? I've never heard of anybody having the skin and the tissue and the eyeballs removed. Yes. This woman is, in my opinion, wicked. She's wicked. And guess what, Jay Edwards? I suspect that she had some help. I just don't see her being this slick and smart all by herself. I don't see how she's capable of thinking about all of this by herself. I think she had some help by somebody that's more intelligent. That's what I think. I could be wrong, but I think I'm right. I could be wrong, but I think I'm right. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. I think she had some help, Jay Edwards. I don't see this alleged hood rat that Bobby cleaned up and dusted off and provided a better lifestyle for. I can't see her being this slick and smart all by herself. She's supposed to be grieving. She's supposed to be crying over her husband. He just died, Jay Edwards. But she's so busy thinking about removing his skin and his tissue and his eyeballs and his organs. The children asked her not to remove the organs, but she did it anyway. She said, okay, but went behind her back and had the organs removed anyway. And the skin, and the tissue, and the eyeballs. Yes, this is, in my opinion, a dirty, wicked bitch. Yes. Jay Edwards says, or is asking, did the kids say what type of insurance he had, because it had to be some big money involved. They didn't specify what kind of insurance he got, but it is some big money involved, Jay Edwards. Let us continue listening.
Could have been stopped, right? Because
yes.
It was like an hour just from my father's house. So you add St. Francis, you probably added another 25 minutes. So that's an hour and 25 minutes just to go pick up my father.
Well,
And then that's another hour and 25 minutes on the drive back. Within that time, there was a lot of time for Mr. Cooley to be contacted.
Well, let me go through some things, Josh. First of all, I have my hands on the medical report online. And it says here on the nursing notes, patient will be an ME case, organ donation notified. At 1300, patient is a candidate for tissue and eye care done prior to transporting patient to the morgue. So in the normal operation of things, they would take the body to the lab and remove the tissue or whatever else they need to move. Then they have a note on here, family would like the body to be released to Cooley Mortuary in Batesville, Mississippi. Now, let's clear up a fact, Josh. Had your father ever spoken of he wanted his organs donated to science or anybody else?
No, that's, that's what I said. Like, when I was young.
Okay.
And when I was a teenager, all of these years when death would come up around us, he would always say the same thing. I want to keep all my organs. That's one thing he always said when we would talk about things of that nature. So just that in itself is odd. Also, the robbery that's going on by Kim is odd.
Well, let me work. If you don't mind, Josh, let me work up to that. Let's work up to
okay.
that.
Let me say something real quick.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm not able to view the actual show because I don't the internet. Could you tell me how many people are tuned in?
Quite a few.
Okay.
And by tomorrow,
I watched it.
by tomorrow it'll be double.
That you said what now?
I said, and by this time tomorrow it'll be 3 times what's on there now. Cause I'm an hour so late coming on the air.
Yeah. That's not an issue. What I did want to point out is this. We are going to have to fight. So, if let's say there's 1,000 kills, right? We will be closer to our goal. Is finding out what happened to our fathers, making sure that everything is on the up and up. Because right now, everything is not on the up and up. We all work, but what is going to take to fight this hard? We're going to need some assistance. And this is the last thing that I will ever want to do is ask people for money. I barely want to, ask anybody in my family for money, for little stuff. But this right here, we are going to have to fight, and if you're just looking at this as a source of entertainment and don't want to help us, I don't say shame on you, but if you really think you like,
Let me stop. Josh, let me stop you right there. I'm good at what I do, like your dad was good at what he does. Okay, your dad and I were not friends at the time that he died. Okay, for several years, and it has nothing to do with radio. I don't have to do this for entertainment. Nobody at DIA gives a fuck about what happened because they didn't give a fuck enough to go to the control room and see what was going on. So I don't need this as a sense of entertainment, and I want you to understand that. I'm doing this because I feel that there is a need. I feel that something happened in that studio that none of us know about. First of all, I got an issue when I look at the timeline of what time she got to the studio, the time that it takes to drive from the studio, to get into that building, to get up to the studio. What motivated you to go to the studio? That's first of all, right? Second of all, I read the report that you gave to the doctor about what was going on when you got to the hospital. Her statement is from the doctor, spoke to the patient's wife in person. Wife states that the patient was at work when she last spoke to the patient around 8:30. States that he usually goes on the radio around 9 o'clock, but did not. States that around 9:40, she went to check on the patient at his job and found him on the floor unresponsive. States that the patient does not have any past medical history. States that the patient has not had any recent medical complaints. I got an issue with two things, Josh. I got an issue in the timeline of her getting from, and I live around the corner. I live about a mile from the home address. I know how long it takes to get across town. And at 9:20 in the morning, the traffic is tough. I look at that, then I look at the factor, man, that your father in the studio, and between 9 o'clock and 9:40, nobody at that radio station goes in to check on your father. Now, when I look at the factor that the music kept on playing at 9 o'clock and your father didn't say anything, it would seem to me that somebody would go to the studio and see what had happened to your father. Now, those are two issues that I got. What made me...
Okay, let me pause it here. It really is a tragic situation, and it really hurts my heart deeply to think that Bobby has suffered this medical emergency, this traumatic event, and no one was there to help him. And he lay on that floor damn near an hour, and nobody came to see what was going on with him. And it makes me wonder if there was foul play involved. And when he said that on air, allegedly, his smoothies had started tasting differently, that was a red flag right there. I would not have continued letting someone else fix my smoothies. If I know for all these years my smoothies have been tasting one way, and then all of a sudden somebody else is starting to fix my smoothies and they're tasting differently, I'm not gonna, that's just me. You know, they say that love is blind and love is kind of accommodating too. But I think that's just too much love right there. I mean, and Bobby was so intelligent and so smart, and we talked about this so many times over the years. We talked about what happened to Michael Jackson. We talked about what happened to Prince. We talked about what happened to Anna Nicole Smith and this old man that she was involved with. We talked about Whitney Houston. We talked about Aretha Franklin. We talked about James Brown. We talked about Luther Vandross. Bobby, we talked about all of these scenarios. And you was too smart. You gave your advice. You gave your Bobbyology. And I'm thinking, Bobby's too smart for this to happen to him. And here we are talking about Bobby in the same situation or a similar situation. Bobby, what happened to your Bobbyology? Jezebel. Jezebel stepped in and bamboozled you and got your mind messed up. That's what happened to your Bobbyology. Oh, my God. And then his brother said, and I still can't believe his brother, saying that Bobby called him and said, I'm gone. I don't believe Bobby called you and said, I'm gone. If Bobby had the opportunity to use the phone, I'm pretty sure he would have called 911. I'm pretty sure he would have called 911 before he called his brother to say, I'm gone. Who does that? Who does that? And it's like certain people are making a mockery out of Bobby's death, this tragic death. And I'm asking myself, is the brother serious? Is this the same brother that Bobby supposedly sent an email will to? Who emails somebody a copy of their will? Who types their will and sends it to their brother like this? What's really going on? Is Kim in the... I hate to think about it, but in this situation, I got to think about every possible scenario. Is Kim and the brother possibly working together in cahoots? What's really going on? Why haven't we heard from the brother other than him being at the funeral saying that Bobby called him and said, I'm gone. I don't believe you, brother. I don't believe Bobby called you and said, I'm gone. I don't believe that. That sounds like somebody wrote that in a screenplay as part of a made up script. I don't believe Bobby called you and said that. I don't believe it. And people will lie on you when you did. And I think that's disgusting. What happened to humanity? What happened to the black people having respect for the dead? They don't have respect for the living, so you know they're not going to have respect for you when you're dead. Jay Edwards says, Lord, she was in the studio also. This is foolery. That's true, because they have to play commercials. So that's true. They should have realized that he was alive. Or not alive. The radio station should be held responsible. Yes, that's what a lot of people are saying. The responsibility also lies on the radio station because they're supposed to have certain protocols in place. You know, that's a liability to let your employee lay on the floor all that time and nobody is recognizing that he's not on the floor. He's on the floor and not playing on the radio. Jay Edwards says the radio station should be held responsible too. They may play 3 to 4 songs straight, but they always have commercials to pay the bills. Yeah, a whole 45 minutes. A whole 45 minutes Bobby's on the floor. And that's damn near an hour. An hour. So yeah, Joshua and the other siblings, they need to be trying their best, even if they have to contact a pro bono lawyer. You don't have to have money for a pro bono lawyer up front. But please donate to Joshua's GoFundMe. I have posted it on my community page. Joshua needs help to hire attorneys. Please donate to Joshua's GoFundMe. Please, please, please share the GoFundMe link and encourage other people to donate to his GoFundMe. He is going to have to fight and fight hard against a lot of these wicked people who are trying their best to stop him from seeking the answers to what happened to his dad. And I support him in his endeavors to look and find the answers to what happened to his dad. Bobby OJay deserves justice. Justice, hashtag justice for Bobby OJay. Let's continue. I'm going to step out of the room again just a moment while this plays. I'll be right back.
Real interested in this issue.
This is terrible.
And I'm the last
This is really terrible. Terrible.
You, especially Kim, and anybody else would have thought that would get involved in this. But the right thing is the right thing. And I'll say this though, Josh. I wish that the differences that your father and I had in the past I'm going to instill in you, and I hope that you will follow this direction, is that before you get a lawyer, you get a signature expert. I pull all the documents on that house, on those houses, on all 3 documents. The signatures are different. Are you aware that your father took out a loan earlier this year for $200,000?
You know, I'm aware that he got the house for her and her children. I didn't know how he got it per se, but I was aware.
Well, he took out 2 loans, and I got the paperwork. He took out one for $150,000. And see, I think, and here's what I think, man. I think that the quick deeds was her backup plan. Because when he got the house that the children are in, her name was not on the house at all. Period. He paid off. I got the paperwork. I got the mortgage papers right here in front of me right now. Her name was not on the house. When she went and got the quick deed, she put on the right of survival, which blocks anybody from getting the house. The house that's in Cordova, that the children live in, her name was not on that house. The house on Lock Creek has been paid off. He took out a $150,000 loan from Bancorp. Then in February of this year, he took out another $200,000 loan. And I ain't telling you what I'm thinking. I'm telling you what I'm seeing right here on the Shelby County register site. I think that there is something amok in this situation. When I look, man, at these signatures on 3 documents where the same notary is used, 2 of the documents were done on the same day with the same notary, the signatures are different. And I advise you, and I advise your siblings, and I ain't got no dog in the fight but the right thing, brother. And I advise you and your family to get a handwriting expert and go over the deeds and the quitclaim.
You know what? That's exactly my objective in the morning.
Man, let me just ask you point blank. Do you think that Kim had something to do with the death of your father?
Capital yes, all cap. Because I'm gonna tell you something.
Mm-hmm.
It's all out of character as normal job.
Mm-hmm.
Like, as someone that, I was just talking to my brother about this, right? That we didn't imagine we would have to be a part of, and all of a sudden, you know, we're going to have to now use our time, our money, and resources. We're still going to have to go to work. We're still going to have to do what we have to do to keep roof over our heads and fight this. And, you know, we're going to have to worry about hiring the right people, doing this, that, and the third. And being in this space is getting exhausted when they fight these kind of cases. What it actually is, there's a large amount of cases that people just they get exhausted because they can't fight it. They lose money. But I'm gonna tell everybody right now, my rent here in Atlanta is tough. I am going to move into my truck so I don't have to pay rent, so I can add to the funds that we're gonna need to fight this. And that's just how it's gonna have to be if we're gonna get it done. My life is now dedicated to either putting her in jail.
Now let me say this. I respect Joshua's dedication to this. I salute him for dedicating his time to this. I support Joshua in dedicating his time and sacrificing for this. But I beg and I plead, Joshua, please don't move into your truck to save money, to dedicate more money to this, especially not in Atlanta, Georgia. It's very dangerous in Atlanta. Please don't do that. If Joshua was closer, I'd let him live with me. I really would. Please don't move into your truck, Joshua. That's very dangerous. Please don't move into your truck, Joshua. Please. If you have to pawn some stuff, if you have to make some cakes and sell some cakes or something, do that, Joshua. If you want to continue to fight this, I'm going to do what I can for you, Joshua. I'm not a rich woman yet. And God is able. Okay? And I'll encourage other people to help donate money. I'll try to look for some lawyers for you. I do what I can. But I think it's very selfish of the siblings, regardless of however they feel about it, to let Joshua stand on the front lines by himself. Everybody needs a task. Somebody can be in charge of finding and working with the handwriting analysis expert. Somebody can be in charge of filing a lawsuit with the court to stop this, in my opinion, wicked woman from selling Bobby's assets in the house, as well as selling the house. Joshua can't do it all. It's too much stress on Joshua. Plus, he got to grieve his dad's death, right? Somebody can be in charge of one thing and another thing. And then you come together every week and have a briefing and let everybody know what your progress has been made. That's how it should be. Don't put everything on Joshua. And don't let Bobby's life and legacy be lost and be in vain. Okay? Please don't do that. Especially if you say you love Bobby. Bobby deserves better than this. And Bobby was a very intelligent and strong black man. And if you love Bobby, you should emulate Bobby's energy and characteristics, especially if you are his child. That's what I think. Okay, let's continue to listen.
Or, let's say everything is on the up and up, which I don't believe it is. I'm just saying that to make other people feel better.
Okay.
But to make sure that everything is on the up and up. That's basically it.
They're saying, and I don't know.
Yeah, we need to know that everything is on the up and up.
Sure, man, that Kim is on a cruise. And that one I would not understand at all.
Who does that? Who goes on a cruise right after they bury their husband? Something ain't right about this. This is not normal. You supposed to be grieving, and you're pulling out eyeballs. You're pulling off the skin. You're pulling off the tissue. You're pulling out the organs, and you're going on a cruise. Who does that? And taking pictures and smiling at the after the funeral with the fans like you are the celebrity. Who does this? Woo!
Your husband died and you get on a ship and go anywhere. I would not.
Man, she didn't even say to see him get laid into the ground.
Someone said that she left the cemetery early.
Yeah. It would be correct. He did. Speaking of which, now, Thaddeus, you said something on your video earlier about her possibly being on the phone with him. Where did that come from?
Is it possible? Is it possible? Look, here's what I say, Josh. Something upset your father that morning. Okay? If you're telling me he has no history of any medical issues, you know, he ate that funny food that
Y'all pardon me for eating. I hope you don't mind.
vegetarians eat. He didn't eat no pork and cow and all that stuff. What put him into full cardiac arrest? Was she...
Oh, it wasn't. I'm going to tell you this. It wasn't stress, because my pops can handle stress very well. Kind of like me. You know, I'm stressed the hell out. But, you know, I understand that there's things that need to get done, and I can't let that cloud me. But, you know, on the other end of that, why his organs ain't there? Why you have him involved? So, see, that's the suspicion. You know, I don't believe it's no stress factor. I think he had a secret ingredient, and that's what happened, because I recall someone telling me.
Now let's stop right there. Josh says he suspects she had a secret ingredient that she might have put in this food, in this smoothies. And me and my friend was talking about the possibilities of that. And we wonder, was it fentanyl? Because they did use Narcan in the ambulance. And we was wondering, why did they use Narcan? And that's a one drug that they commonly use for fentanyl overdose. And Bobby was not into drugs. He was celebrating 30-some years of sobriety not too long ago. And he always talked about being so proud of being sober of drugs and alcohol for so many years. And I don't believe he had stumbled back into drugs and alcohol. Not even a little bit. I suspect that it might have been a little fentanyl. They say it don't take much. And they might possibly have been using a little bit at a time and then increase the dosage. And then that day when Bobby died, they probably put a whole bunch of it in his smoothie. And that took him out. That took him completely out of here. And his voice has been silenced ever since. And if we had his eyeballs, if we had his skin, if we had his tissue, if we had his organs, we could dispel the myths, the rumors, the allegations. What does Kim have to hide? It looks like she's hiding something. She's in such a hurry to get him embalmed and get his organs and eyeballs and skin and tissue out of the way and destroy This is not looking like a woman that don't have nothing to hide. That's just my opinion. And I suspect that she had some help. I can't see this hood rat from North Memphis that Bobby cleaned up and gave a better life to. I can't see her having the mentality and the intelligence to do all of this by herself. She had some help. Somebody schooled her and guided her. I don't think she did all this by herself. But that's just my thoughts. That's just my thoughts. Yeah. Jay Edwards is asking, did they say how long they dated before marriage? Because she had to be planning this. What about hair samples? Oh, they said they can test drug use from the hair. I don't know about that. I don't know about that, Jay Edwards. But I don't know how long they had been dating. I think the cousin pastor had found some kind of receipt from a hotel prior to them getting married. And it looked like from the date, I don't know how he found this, but they had went to Nashville to this hotel. And I said around that time, I think his wife was still alive. I think that was around the time when she was sick. And I hope Bobby wasn't slipping behind his sick wife's back and hooking up with this Jezebel. I hope that wasn't the case. I don't know where he found that. I don't know how long they've been messing around before they got married, but they got married so fast, which makes me think they had already been knowing each other for quite some time. Because it wasn't even 6 months after his wife died that he married this heifer. So I got a feeling they've been messing around for quite some time. But I can't believe it because Bobby gave me the impression that he respected the institution of marriage. And I just don't want to believe Bobby was messing around with this trash while his wife was sick with cancer. I just don't want to believe that. Not Bobby. I just can't believe it. But if he was, and this heifer did this to him, well, Bobby, I hate to say it, but you fill in the blanks. Yeah, that's real fast. 2 years. I got a feeling they've been messing around for quite some time. But anyway, yeah, it takes preparation, Jay Edwards. It takes preparation. Look at the timeline of all these events. Look at the timeline. It don't look good. I smell a dead cat on the line.
That on his show, he said that Kim started making smoothies in the morning and they taste different.
So what?
Something about my dad.
Okay.
He is repetitive. You know, he drank the same damn milkshake for like 10 years. And I'm capping it off for 10 years because I left home. But every morning it's the same thing. He didn't change nothing because that's the kind of person he was.
Now, I can attest to that. Joshua was telling the truth about that. He said Bobby, his dad, drank the same milkshake / smoothie for 10 years. Every day he had the same routine. And he talked about it every day on the radio. He made me want to start drinking smoothies and milkshakes. Every day. He had the same routine. So I know Joshua was telling the truth about that.
You know what I'm saying? And for her to change the recipe that he was drinking and him to accept it.
Yeah. Allegedly, Bobby said that the milkshakes / smoothies started tasting differently when Kim started making them. I would have stopped drinking them then. Like I said, I think, in my opinion, I suspect she might have been poisoning. She might have been poisoning him a little bit at a time. She started with a low dose and increased it. That's what I think. That's what I suspect. I could be wrong, but I think I'm right.
I would say he did love Kim, but just like I said, people love him. And I need people to understand that. I need people to understand.
And I don't think love had nothing to do with this.
And for everybody to say our relationship with our father ain't on the up and up, do y'all remember what happened with my brother that didn't even grow up with us? Got into that car accident? My father Josh, what he was doing, he came up here and made sure that he was okay. Drop everything he was doing and came up. Or y'all must be forgetting how folks talk about me on the radio all the time. It's nothing bad. You know what I'm saying? Me and my
Now I remember that. He telling the truth about that too. Bobby used to talk about Josh all the time, every day on the radio. I got sick of Bobby talking about Josh this, Josh that. I'm like, Bobby, don't you have some more children? Why are you talking about Josh all the time? Josh did this, Josh did that. Oh, let me tell you about what Josh said. I got sick of Bobby bragging and talking about Josh. So I know he was crazy about Josh. He talked about Josh all the time.
all the time. Or half of the time my sister needed some assistance when something tragic happened. He was right there. And then he'll say, man, call me if you need anything else. But that's like that. You know, we not leases. We all work. I worked this job the way I am now before my father died. You know, we're not trying to be on no, we're trying to get all this money, blah, 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 blah. No. We are trying to, I'm going to say this. I'm trying to get a suspected murderer from getting my father's assets after she, what's the word they use?
Conspired?
I don't want to just say that she murdered him.
Allegedly?
Go ahead.
That she allegedly. Is the word you're looking for allegedly?
Allegedly, thank you, Daddy. That's the word I was looking for. Allegedly. And that allegedly is in all caps.
Do you think she allegedly put something in your daddy's food?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Allegedly.
I suspect the same thing, allegedly.
She knows about the will that we have that my father typed. And if she loves my father, she's showing acting like it right now. All that suspicious, and we trying to fight this.
So how long?
Every dollar we raise is going towards fighting this. You know, so hey.
I really, really regret Bobby hooking up and marrying this trash. Whew. And wherever Bobby is right now, I'm pretty sure that he might regret it too. But it's too late for him to turn back the hands of time and have a do-over. So we can only trust God to be God and do justice on behalf of Bobby. Yes. You got to be careful about who you hook up with. Woo! Somebody's son trying to hook up with me right now. And I'm just so nervous about it. Ooh! You got to be careful. You got to be careful. You got to be careful about who you hook up with. Everything that look good to you ain't always good for you.
No.
has she known that there was a will?
I'm pretty sure she's known for a while. I can't say for sure how long she's known, but knowing my father, they did discuss things like this. And I guess she wanted to change the way his wishes were after he died.
Now,
like I said,
wait a minute. The change started before he died. The two houses, the one in Cordova and the Lark Creek, were quick deeded in November of last year, and she made sure that in that quick deed they put right of survivor, which bypasses a will because the house is already gone and it belongs to her. But again, Josh, I tell you, you need to get these papers that I got, because all of the signatures are different. Then in February, he goes and get a $200,000 loan when he had already got a $150,000 loan. He used the $150,000 loan to pay off the Lock Creek house. Now, when he went and got the house in Cordova that the children live in, it was not in her name. Okay? The paperwork says Joe Louis Jones, single man. Okay? That's what it says. It says Joe Louis Jones, single. Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. Joe Louis Jones, unmarried man. I'm looking at the deed of trust. And this was filed.
This is really a damn shame, man.
And this was filed in 2018.
And got people defending this foolery. Those are the people I'm mostly upset at. Because, this chick is trying to have a hot girl summer on my pop.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
yeah.
We
Yeah, she's trying to have a hot girl summer at the expense of Bobby OJay. Look like she gonna get to have one, her and her daughter. Her and her grown daughter. They're gonna have a hot girl summer at the expense of Bobby.
We stand strongly together as a family on this whole subject, like I said.
And I gotta.
But God.
Take major energy.
And I gotta ask you something though, Josh. There are those, and I've listened to some on DA, and I was not a DA listener, ain't one now. But I read in their comments, many are saying that you are bitter, that you're jealous, that it seems that he was doing for her children and not doing for yours. What's your response to that?
But then, just like I said in the other video, right? The other house that he got for her and her kids, I understand that fully. Because that house ain't part of no legacy. That house came after they was married.
Josh said he understand that. I don't understand that. Why would you, Bobby OJay, buy $150,000 house for this woman that you married for her children, her grown children? No. If anything, they're going to get their own house. They're going to get their own house. Where is the daddy of these two grown children? Why is the daddy not getting them their own house? Why are the grown children not getting their own house? This is not Bobby. I don't believe Bobby did this. I think it's Kim. Kim allegedly had access to the banking and was paying the bills. Bobby allegedly gave Kim access to allow her to pay the bills and do the banking. And I think Kim took advantage of that. I suspect Kim is the one that got the house behind Bobby's back. Bobby didn't know nothing about it. And he probably found out about it one day when some mail came to the house. And Kim probably had been getting the mail, and this one day, Bobby beat her to the mailbox. Or maybe somebody called Bobby from the bank. Yeah, that's what I think. That's what I think.
All of that. I'm not saying that we're watching and trying to say what my father do. We could be that, okay, well, what about this over here, though? And everything, since the day he died, nothing has been come out of Kim's mouth.
Have you talked to her?
I ain't jealous of those kids, by the way. I mean, we live our lives. We've been living lives.
Okay.
I don't need nobody to take care of me. You know what I'm saying? My brother, same thing. Sisters, same thing. And we wasn't calling my father asking him for money all the time, like some people would say.
Okay.
We work. You're an adult. And plus, both her kids grown as hell. So, he probably did that to keep them from living with him and her. And I get that. I ain't mad at that. I'd probably do the same thing.
I wouldn't do the same
I got
thing.
my wheel over here, the original OG house, the original stuff that's supposed to go to my kids that I already typed out. They're supposed to be a witness.
Is the original?
That's laughable.
Okay, is the original house the 7590 Log Creek house?
Yeah, that's the original OG.
Okay, that's the original. In fact, he got that house in '94. Use a leg. Yep. In fact, he got it in '93. I got the original.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. No problem.
Those people that say on Twitter, you can say what you want because you're not in this. You're on the outside looking in. But understand, if you watching this right now, this is my real life that you're watching, eating your popcorn and drinking your soda. This is real life happening. And if you forget for 1 minute that we're in the real world, you need to reevaluate everything.
Yeah. I think there's a lot of evaluations that need to go on as far as this matter. And again, I'm sure that Kim was not expecting the backlash that's coming down. And I'm positive she never would have fathomed that I would get involved with this. But I'm going to tell you again, Josh, because you brought it up at the beginning of the show. I ain't got no dog in this. I've been doing what I do for 42 years. When you were a little boy, and my stepsons and you were going to school together back in them days, I've been doing this a long time. So if I'm doing it now, ain't no money in this for me. I'm doing it because somebody other than you is going to have to fight for the justice that your father deserves.
I appreciate everything that you got going right now because you're right. We were, as a family, you were the last person that we would have thought. But who I was talking to when I made that comment about just watching for entertainment is all those people that want to be entertained, but can't. They don't have no empathy of a real situation. They're just watching. So that comment wasn't for you. You know what I'm saying? I'm grateful.
do because I ain't ballin' paid for, and can't nobody tell me a motherfucking thing about I don't need to do this, I don't need to say this. Because, man, something happened in that control room. I've never been in that station, but I've been in enough stations to know that there ought to be a window in that studio.
Yes.
From the pictures that I've seen, that Bev Johnson's, where she does her talk show, is the next room over from Bobby, and there's a window.
Yes.
I cannot figure out for the life of me how your father was able to lay on that floor, man, for so long, and nobody at that station went into that control room. I'm hearing the music keep on playing, and I know that Bobby's supposed to be on the air. Why didn't somebody go into that control room? And then,
the great part about that is, wouldn't nobody have to worry about if anybody went to the control room if Kim didn't allegedly murder my father. I'm on Kim. I know some people want to talk about iHeart, but I'm on Kim because that is the chain of events. That would have never happened without whatever secret ingredient. And let me tell you something. When we got there and I walked into 75 Matthew Lark Code, and I seen the way I'm gonna say I felt, very, very. It was crazy, man, walking up in there. It was crazy because she had people in there, and she would have these these outbursts that don't seem genuine. Because we all had kind of outburst problems. I ain't gonna say we've all, but I've had them. When something happens, life is tough, and you just break down. You know when one is real. But when I walked in there and I seen all those people that I ain't never seen before in that house, and they looking at us like they sizing us up.
what were those people? What were those people?
This them.
I mean, what were they there for?
Is I guess for support. But it's almost like it's kind of like I'm going back to what I said there. Like people just looking at us, see what we gonna do.
See, I'm
probably gonna be the loudest of all my siblings.
You probably are.
Because I really believe that she allegedly killed my father, and I can't let that shit ride. You know what I'm saying? Y'all understand this. I still gotta go to work every day. I still gotta act normal here while I'm working. Don't nobody give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? Don't nobody give a fuck what I got going on here in Atlanta. You know what I'm saying? They want me to do what the hell I'm doing at work. And if I don't do it, guess what? It's out of there. You know how hard that shit is? And you walking around and this woman is trying to take everything and she's doing all this suspicious stuff. Nothing is valid coming out of her mouth. She has no real answer. The only thing it's going to call is astronomical compared to what we're used to having to spend on a daily basis.
What did she say, Josh?
That is very easy to roll off the tongue.
Yeah, they cost.
But a case like this, it's going to cost.
Let me ask you something, man.
And if go ahead.
What did she say when you got to 7590? What did she say triggered her to go to 2600,000 Oaks Boulevard?
She said she just thought it was odd that the music was still playing. But I feel like it was odd that she was the first person. There's people in that building. How were you able to get there? And if you so-called knew about medical things, why wouldn't you call ahead and get
Now that's man, that's what fucked me up. If my wife, if I think my wife is laying on the floor and she know how to call directly past the front desk or able to front desk and have somebody look. I got this funny feeling about Bobby. We all go in the control room and check on him. I'm on the way. So why don't you?
First of all,
something ain't right.
Oh, go ahead.
Okay,
Something ain't right.
I'm just using some common logic in this.
Something
I'm
ain't
thinking
right
you
about
on the
this.
floor, something may have happened to you. Something unusual is going on. The music is continuously
I'll be right back.
playing. How come the call was not made? Go and look in on my husband.
Exactly. You know, all of this. You know, and first of all the things that were done, including his eyes getting taken out. What is you trying to hide? What are you trying to hide, Kim? You ain't been real guilty. She don't give a fuck about nothing we got to say. But she supposedly loved our father. You know what I talked to my father? Last time I talked to my dad, he had the speakerphone on and she was listening and she was trying to laugh at what I was saying, you know, trying to kind of warm her way, but you know, you just know.
Have you ever locked up
everything?
Just have you ever cared for her?
You know what? I tried. But you know, there's this, I'm not gonna get into it, but there's certain things that you know.
The age difference to make you any difference.
You know, it's not like I just came in and was like, oh, I hate this lady.
Mm-hmm.
No, I didn't just wake up to that.
There was no reference to your mom, who I knew from North Memphis back in the day, the Little Johns. There was no reference to her being a part of the legacy on the program. Also, no staff members from DIA, where he's been 40-some years building a station. There was no one from the station on the program. Did you not find that odd?
Oh yeah, I cut that part out of the obituary with with Time to Love, and it just says he married Kim because my father had 3 wives total.
Okay.
So here she goes acting like you know what I'm saying? She's acting like she's been here the whole time.
Okay.
And she hasn't.
Yeah, I know. Your father was married to Louise. I don't know whether she's still living or not. Okay. And 30 years or so.
They would still be married today if she didn't pass.
Right. Do you think that one of the reasons that she left the cemetery before he was buried is because he chose to be buried next to your mom?
I hope not. But it kind of seems it's really challenging to her to not have any pictures of my mom in the picture or my brothers and sisters' mother. She kind of just erased all the history that was there. She got her kids in the obituary. She had her kids on the slideshow. And I don't want that to sound jealous. I'm just saying them ain't his kids.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Them ain't them kids. No matter what. Them ain't his kids.
Are there any other factors you will bring out? That how soon are you going to start moving in the direction? I know it takes money, and I've noticed that the GoFundMe has not got a whole lot of money as of yet. But I've also noticed that the station DIA has not gotten involved or said anything about what needs to be done to help you and your family. They're going on business as usual, using these crackerjack jokers in the morning that got some talent trying to replace your father. You know, what's your feelings about DIA at this point?
You know, like I said, man, it all goes back to Kim. Because we wouldn't be talking about none of this if she allegedly murdered my dad. And that's all I know.
Are you going to ask Memphis Homicide to look into your father's death?
Yes.
Because I find it suspicious, and in all reality, your father was already gone when he got to the hospital. They worked on, according to their paperwork, and I'm reading it, they worked on him at the hospital. There was never any response, never any vital signs that came back. In every hospital, on every death, the hospital always asks us, do you want to have his tissue? Can we get his tissue? And it becomes up to the family to say no. And even when you are an organ donor, if the surviving next of kin says no, we ain't gonna do that, they can't do anything to you. Okay? And I'm still wondering why Kim did not want an autopsy.
That's what I'm saying. That's what we all saying. We all question her about it. You know, I think one of the mistakes that we made is we didn't press her right away.
Okay.
We tried
Kim needs to be investigated.
to give her, you know, we gave her every chance. And everything was not
In my opinion.
adding up.
It's not adding up.
Well,
You know, she was acting like somebody that was just like, okay, it's done. We're getting this out the way. I'm getting to the money.
were you able to see your father before he was embalmed?
No. And we requested that did not happen.
So why did you?
He was right. I understand, but the timeline from Batesville to St. Francis and the embalming process left us plenty of time for her to be like, okay, yeah, for her to be okay for real. She said, okay, because she knew we was already on the way down there.
Okay.
You know, so by the time we got down there, it was already over.
So what was her reply to you when you said we wanted to see the body before it was embalmed? We wanted an autopsy. What was the answer that she gave you?
Well, you know, I personally asked him.
You talking about Cooley?
When we saw my father the first time,
Okay.
I said, well, what's up with the autopsy? What's the paperwork say? She said, I don't think they do an autopsy. I don't know. Then came the scenario. Vertigo. He hit his head. Bow. Died. You know what I'm saying? Then, something must have exploded in his eye. His eye must have exploded. You know what I'm saying? Or, he had a massive heart attack. You know what I'm saying? Or whatever else. But, that blood coming out of his mouth is suspicious. Especially when you said he looked peaceful at one point. And then at another point, it changed.
matter. A very suspicious
Very suspicious
matter. When she went to the radio station, I know security is tight at Clear Channel. Was she able to just walk on in?
You know, that also, I'm not sure, but I'm assuming that. You know, what I would assume is there's a receptionist, there's security.
Yeah.
At least there was when I was a kid. You know, my father used to take me to work with him.
Right.
So, you know, and from my memories, I just can't imagine how you couldn't get in touch with someone to check on them. And this is supposed to be your husband.
Yeah.
You love him, right?
Yeah. I'm sure she had Bell's number. I'm sure she had Stan's number. She had enough numbers and enough knowledge of that radio station to call somebody and say, go check on my husband.
Yep. And you know what? A lot of people don't know. When my brother had his car accident, I was on the phone with him. Okay? Me and him was both doing Uber Eats. So we talking to each other on the phone like we would normally do. And you know, we talking about protein and weight. So he goes, you know, yeah, man, I'm about to drink one right now. And then, as soon as I heard that and I heard everything, and his phone cut off, I didn't even go get his mother and his daughter first. I immediately said, what the hell? Where are you going? You know, so there's no excuse for you thinking something is wrong and you say, well, I'm going to go up there just to make sure. Like, no. If you supposedly knew that he had vertigo or whatever the case may be, or whatever you making up, you know, you should have called the paramedics.
That's my thought as well.
Because driving up there was like scratching up a lottery ticket.
Damn, Josh. So you think Kim's a gold digger?
Most definitely. You know, and you got to go with the energy. Like everything he's doing confirms it. You know, he's trying to take what we already know what we're supposed to get.
Okay.
You know, but that's not what it's about. It's about with us even having to have this discussion that she allegedly murdered my father. And she's trying to cover it up.
Okay.
I could give a damn about any of that stuff. Because guess what? I was without my father's money, I was still going to go on dates with these women in Atlanta with their expensive taste. My brother, he was still going to buy his expensive shoes and his jewelry with his own money. My sister Casey was still going to update her house. She was still going to do things with her money. You know, we were living our lives, but now everything has changed. Because we don't have a father, you know. And for some of my other brothers and sisters, they were just getting to the point where they wanted to open up just a tad bit more. They were open, but they weren't as open as I was with my pop because I grew up with them. But they were finally getting to that point, and to have that snatch revenue, and plus, I don't even have no kids yet, you know, and both my parents gone. So, you know, I'm, you know, like I said, man, I'm stressed the hell out. But, you know, before I go, you know, I'm, you know, it's some, you know, I'm not going to be able to live my life,
means. Very rare will you see me support a GoFundMe. But I support it in this case because justice needs to be done.
Yes.
And it's going to take money to get justice done.
Yes.
She cannot be left off of the hook.
Absolutely not.
This family, this son, his siblings have a right to fight and to know exactly how their father died.
Yes.
Anything else you want to get out, Josh, before we go?
No, man, I'm about to clock back into work. I used up my whole hour.
Oh,
And some.
we've been on the phone just about an hour. About 2 minutes to be an hour. Look, you got my personal number. Call me, man, if it's something you need to find out or some papers you can't get your hands on. Okay? And
Oh, yeah, definitely.
these papers on the house, I got them. And whenever you, whoever comes to town and you want to see them, because you need to see how different the signatures are on these documents. Man, going back to work, I got your number, you got mine, and let's stay in contact.
Yes, sir, man. Well, hey, man, like I said before, I appreciate everything you're doing, man. And we're gonna be in connection.
All right, man. Thank you, brother.
All right.
That's Josh, the son of Bobby OJay.
Okay, so that's the end of that particular interview between the cousin pastor and Joshua Jones, the son of Bobby OJ. And like I said, it's the irony for me. For years, I've listened to Bobby's show, and he has done celebrity news and gossip and talked about, community affairs. And here we are talking about Bobby. And Bobby is no longer here. And Bobby should still be here if it had not been for suspected foul play. And I'm really hopeful that everyone will support Joshua and all of the people who want to support Joshua in his quest and finding out what really happened to his dad, and to have the right thing done concerning his estate. And what really, really bothers me so much about this, as Joshua is asking for support from the community. If this had been a white person, Carmen Kaboom, are you really going to play the race card? Yes, I am. If this had been a white person, or an Indian person, or an Asian person, or a Spanish person, guess what? They would have raised the money the same day, plus some. But it's very difficult in the Black community to get support. But they support foolishness. But when it comes to things of this nature, it's very difficult to get people to support and donate money. But you'll throw massive amounts of money away on crab legs, on marijuana, and all types of other foolishness. These ugly wigs and these eyelashes and hair bonnets and these raggedy cars and the like. But anyway, if it had been someone white, they would have raised the money. They would have supported this man, and they would have raised the money needed the same day, plus some. And that person wouldn't have had to beg and plead and just continue to ask why they are suffering like this. But this is the nature of the people in our community. Not all, but a whole lot of them. So I'm really encouraging Joshua to take his time, but it's not a whole lot of time that you can, take, because this heifer is moving real, real fast. So you got to keep the same energy while you grieve, which is very stressful and very, very exhausting at the same time. So never get so caught up in the fight, Joshua. And those of you that support Joshua, never get so caught up in the fight that you lose sight of the objective. Keep your sight on the objective while you pray to God for strength and the necessary resources and the people who can support you and be a part of the tribe. Even if it's a small amount of people, God can do a whole lot with a little. So don't get caught up on the number of people, right? And I am going to continue to support and donate as much as I can and share this GoFundMe link. And I encourage all of my supporters and viewers to please donate to Joshua's GoFundMe. And, Joshua, he's grieving and he may, just take a while to process a lot of this. And later on, he may pick it up again. But I'm hopeful that he will continue. And I do understand that there might be a lot of people pressuring him to let it go because they don't want to see justice done. They may have all different kind of agendas. It might be some people in the family, they feel like, this is embarrassing to the family. And, they may be speaking on behalf of Bobby. And I really can't stand those type of people. Oh, such and such wouldn't want this. Such and such wouldn't want that. You need to shut up. You can't speak. You're not qualified to speak on behalf of the deceased. Okay? And if you're not going to have the courage, get out of the way of Joshua and let him do what needs to be done. But anyway, this is a very tragic situation. And I suspect foul play, just like Joshua suspects foul play. And, it's very sad. He's already lost his mom. And, we just had Mother's Day. So now we're getting ready for Father's Day. So Joshua, it's really tough on him. And the community has been robbed of the voice for the people. Bobby OJay. It's been very, very, very depressing and hard for me these past couple of weeks, not being able to turn on the radio and hear Bobby OJay's voice and his Bobbyology that I've just had the opportunity to listen to for the past 30 years, and that's a long time. And, we have shared so many experiences as his radio family. And I'm pretty sure a lot of his other listeners are probably feeling what I've been feeling, especially the callers that were routinely calling every day and wouldn't let anybody else get in on the line. And, it's been very, very tough. And this is going to be a very tough position to fill. And I haven't listened much to the radio station since Bobby has passed. And I just don't think the radio station will ever be the same. And there's no one else that's been groomed to come into the fold of the radio station since, Bobby has been on the air. So, after Belle, who's been at the radio station about the same amount of time as Bobby, they might as well just cut the lights off and shut down the radio station because it's a wrap. Belle, she's just barely been hanging on. Her, it's no offense to Belle. And she does have a great talk show, but her topics have been so redundant and stale. I mean, how many times can we talk about relationships and have the same philosophy on relationships? And she does the best she can do. She's getting older, and she doesn't really have the same mojo that she had years ago. But she's still hanging on. But Bobby, he was how can I put it? Bobby was WDIA, okay? And he really gave the energy that needed to be given to that station. And so many people listen to the station because of Bobby. So now that he's gone, I don't know how they're going to be able to maintain. And a lot of people are going to be paying attention, undoubtedly, for who's going to come in next. There's going to be a lot of scrutiny circulating around that person. So they better have their stuff together because, they have some big shoes to fill coming behind Bobby OJay. Because he had, the ability to connect so many people, a wide variety of people all around the world, all ages. And he had a certain way of connecting with the people, and he was very diverse. And his music, his genres of music that he would play, it made you feel good, right? And he had a very good ear for the type of music that he would play. He really knew his music, and he knew his music artists very well. He had such a huge knowledge of the history of music and the radio stations all over the world and programming music. And he was just an all-around type of guy. And Bobby, his kind of person is 1 in a million, right? And finding justice for years now. And now Bobby's gone and has probably been murdered too. And it's very, very disgusting that so many of our powerful and prominent people in the community is continuously being taken away. These people are contributing so much to the community, and all of these pieces of shit who don't contribute nothing, they stay and live forever. It's very unfair. But when I think about this is the devil's domain, the earth, it would make sense that he would keep all of his demons and imps that work for him, do a lot of evil anyway of the righteous. So, they may think they've gotten away with it, but in due time, God is going to right the wrong. And so well, be so righteous. When in actuality, they're playing a character. They're mocking God, and they're preying on God's people all the time. But anyway, this is affecting his children. It's just so low, And we got a lot of low down people. Somebody's asking, can you make a new live? It's giving Wilson. You're not even into this live. And you all, peace.